you're going to want to use a different platform, because the platform on Twitch will only save it for, I think, 24 hours. And you're not able to archive a lot of your content, as opposed to something like YouTube, where you can go to someone's channel and see like all of the stuff that they've posted recently. So that's a downfall. And then, depending on the type of content you're using, you may not be able to find the right community on there. So that's important to consider. I'd highly recommend going to Twitch and looking up the stuff that you want to post and see if people are already there and interested in that. And then one last thing that's worth mentioning is that there seem to be like a lot of trolls on Twitch. So just be on the lookout for that. Like once you hit a certain point of a lot of followers and subscribers, like I think that's kind of inevitable, unfortunately.
The good side of that is that when you see people, when you're on Twitch and you see people make a donation, it comes up visually and you can see that other people are like throwing in tips or making little, like the little ka-ching kind of thing going up. People do all kinds of animations with it. So it has a really good social interaction element where it draws people in, and it makes me feel like, oh my gosh, all of these other people are giving $5. I can afford $5 right now. I'm going to do it, because you see other people doing it right there. It's a really cool feeling.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, there's a lot of ways that you can get money on Twitch too. Like number one is from subscribers. So you get 50% of the money when someone subscribes to you on Twitch, but you're able to change that price to whatever you want and have different tiers of subscriptions to your channel, which is really cool. Another way that you're able to make money on Twitch is through bits. So people are able to kind of tip you on Twitch, which is really cool, which is what Steve was just talking about. And then you can see, if someone tipped $5, a lot of times you can have it just show up there. And then, that really encourages other people to do it. And then one other way that's really exclusive to Twitch is that it's partnered with Amazon. So you're able to sell merch, your own merch on the Twitch website underneath your live stream with a direct link to Amazon. So you can kind of do like a partnership with them. And they keep a percentage of the sales, but I mean, it's really convenient to just have the links right there. So that's a really cool thing also.
I just went to a channel and you saw this State Farm ad pop up. So clearly, people are running ads on Twitch. That's a little bit of a downside for your users if they're really into the music and they got to wait 15 seconds to go through a State Farm ad. Obviously, nobody wants that. But then again, if that makes it able for you to make a living, maybe, it'll balance it out. That's
definitely speaks to the level that Twitch is at, though, because, we just saw, it's a State Farm commercial, but that was like specifically geared toward streamers. That was like a famous streamer, and Jake from State Farm is putting the headphones on. It's like, so this is culture, and it's really it's incredible, and it's definitely like a huge way that these people are monetizing, and they're making livings off of it.
That's a really good point. The ad was specifically dialed in for the audience. So if you want to be monetizing anything you're doing, make sure your sales pitch or however you present it is super relevant to the exact target audience you're working with. That makes a big difference.
Yeah.
Can I say the thing about being gamified? This is just a last thing about Twitch. It's the platform itself has a game kind of structure to it. So before you can become a monetized partner, you have to get a certain number of hours broadcasting and a certain number of followers. And the backend platform gives you these little rewards and tells you how long until you can get up to the next level and access your monetizing features. So using Twitch actually feels a little bit like a game, and you're like, oh, I'm going to get some points and stuff. So it's kind of fun.
Yeah. So I think the next platform, I'm sorry, Jordan, what were you saying?
No problem. No. I was just saying how exciting like Twitch is. It's just like a super cool platform, but one of the ones that we all know, and you can either love or hate it, but it's Instagram. Okay. So Instagram, something that most people have on their phones, it is owned by Facebook. And what we're seeing on the screen right here is the desktop version. So as you guys, not everybody will know, but it is mainly a mobile app. And so if you do want to go live, you can't do it from your laptop. You actually have to do it from your phone. The thing about Instagram, I would say that it has like a lot of constraints on it. So I'm just going to go to the cons first and then go into the pros. Like the cons would be you're limited to 1 hour straight. And if you don't stop your stream before that hour, you don't have the ability to save your stream. It's just going to end, which has happened a lot over when I've been watching, probably the last year, where it's just like, oh, wow, boom, and it's gone. Because the cool thing, and we've talked about this before and we will later, when you're doing these streams on a specific platform, it is very valuable to be able to save your stream, to save your video. Even the way we're doing it with this workshop here, we're going to put it on the website for people to be able to go back and see later, whether they missed something during the stream or whether they want to share it with somebody else who they feel the information can be valuable. So with Instagram, I would say definitely the pros of it is there's just so many users, right? It's like one of the most popular platforms. There's a ton of people. It notifies people when you go live. So I'll see, oh, my brother's online. Okay, cool. And I click it, and then you're just tapped right directly in. It's super easy to stream from your phone. You have the ability to turn on and off your chat comments, which we talked about how it can kind of get a little dicey on Twitch. People are saying whatever. I mean, it's the internet. You see it on YouTube channel comments all the time where it's like, this is anything. People are saying everything and anything. But the cool thing about the comments thing is people utilized it to find a way to monetize Instagram. Instagram, again, is very limited in this respect, and it doesn't have like a monetization option. So what these people, what I've seen people do, especially during quarantine with the DJs, people like D Nice, they started to, what you're able to do with the comments is you can pin one. So this chat's going, but there's one line that is staying the whole entire stream. And what they're doing with that is they're tagging like a Venmo or a Cash App or a PayPal or whatever. And then during the stream, they're able to like direct people to that. I also have seen it be used in raising funds for nonprofits or raising voting awareness. We saw this with D Nice last summer. Was it late spring? Whenever he started his live streams, we saw people. What's really cool about Instagram is there's the users are so heavy, and there's so many people that are influencers or that are famous. And so we're watching my man DJ live in quarantine from a hotel room, and all of a sudden you see people like the First Lady pop up. Michelle Obama's in the chat. Oh, Oprah came in the chat, and you're just like, you feel like you're in there. You feel like you're a part of it, and you guys are to an extent. You're all watching something at the same time, focusing all your energy toward it. So, and with that, they were able to raise voting awareness. They were able to push a lot of different nonprofits. So Instagram has its pros and cons. It's very accessible. There is ways to monetize, but in general, it is something that is not the most optimal in the monetization space. There's definitely better platforms, which we're going to continue on and talk about the parent company, I believe.
Yeah, Facebook. A great strategy is to layer up these platforms. So what I see people doing on Instagram is making short posts. We do this too. And we make like a 1-minute selfie video, like, hey, I'm going to go live at 1 o'clock later. I'm going to be on YouTube. Come and check me out. We're going to talk about, how to whatever. So you use the platform like with a really short kind of a video feed to promote something that's on another platform. And then they stack up and you get your followers to go from one place to the other. So I'm going to screen share into Facebook, our favorite big blue brother, and show you about going live in Facebook. This is something that's evolved a bunch over time. And we'll start with just a basic personal profile post. You can go in also if you have a business page or a group or something, you can go live in those. But let's start with just the simple thing of me going live. So I click the red live video button and wait for the screen to pop up. And this is going to be the dashboard of what you see. People might have done this. You all might have done this a bit before. So let's define a couple of basics first. On the left side of the screen, there is go live now, schedule an event, or upcoming ones. So if you want to prep for a bigger presentation on Friday night or something, you can schedule it, or you can just go live off the cuff like this. You can choose to post on your own timeline into one of your pages or in a group. One technique that works really well is to have a page where you post a live video and then you share that into your user group so that everybody gets the official video in the community where they can comment on it, and you can have your own group interaction, or you can share it into another group if you're doing something like that. And you can choose your privacy settings. Right now, I'm going to click only me. Now, usually you want to do public or pick, your friends only. The reason I'm picking only me is that if you're new to this and you haven't streamed before, it can be nerve-wracking. We were talking about the adrenaline of a show and the fun of getting excited for a show. But if you're new to this and you have to, number one, do your performance, and number two, also handle streaming to an audience and the tech of the comments and the stream health and the internet connection, it's like 5 layers of stuff to do at the same time. So before you really go live with the stream to the audience, I recommend on Facebook, set your stream to go into your own profile on only me. That means it's going to be a private thing. Nobody's going to see it. You can do your stream. Then you can go to your monitor device or just your regular computer, watch your stream, play it back, and make sure that you're in focus. People can see you. They can hear what you're doing. It's synchronized. It looks good. The lighting isn't all whacked out. And crazy stuff goes wrong. Sometimes a little thing in the background makes a huge difference that really gets in the way. So you can do the only me thing to check it out. Don't forget the title. And a hot tip about titles is start with either how to or how I change my spark. plugs. And that's like in the kind of tutorial world. You could do something like how I wrote this new song and show them like, you know, I'm going to go live and do the verse chorus a couple times. I'm just working out this new song. I want to show you how I built this song. And then it's going to be out on the album in a couple months. There are a lot of ways you can do it. The point is use the title field so people can know what you're talking about. Remember, a lot of people click out after the first 10 seconds. So you really want to come in, start right away, get to the point and do what you said in the title. And then in the part about say something about this live video, put the link here. So if you're leading them to an album for sale or something else they can follow up on to support you in some way, like on your Patreon or something, you want to give them a link that's going to be in the text with the video so that every time you share it, people are going to have the link and they're going to get the whole package all together. It's pretty much common sense, but I wanted to point these things out to make it clear. Now, over here in the main body of this thing, it says get started. And let me just move my Zoom window. We got 3 options. The basic one is to use camera. That means you're going to use the built-in camera. So I've got my FaceTime camera built in or my webcam. And then you can choose your built-in laptop mic or anything else you have connected to your system. You can even start screen sharing from right here. Those are the basic settings for live streaming from your laptop or whatever peripherals you have in there. If you want to be doing a more professional stream where you've got a couple of like overlays with your company name or your artist name on screen and your website on screen and maybe you're using a couple different mics and sources, you would want to select use paired encoder, which means you're using something like OBS, the Open Broadcast System that we're going to talk about next month. So we're not going to get into that right now. The point is that you can use more advanced equipment. That's like if you have better cameras and more than one camera and you want to show like your hands on one thing and then your face and then the whole room and then flip back and forth to make it more professional. There's a bunch more settings you're going to want to take a look at. Those are kind of details, but that's basically the back end for the Facebook platform. And people have made huge success streaming on Facebook to develop their audience and bring people into, like a Facebook group to have community support. And that's something I really want to hammer on a lot is give your audience a place to connect with you, find you, ask you questions, share things later, and have something that keeps going after your stream is over. That's what really makes it fun for the viewers. And for me, like when I watch other people's streams, I'm like, oh man, I comment on them even after the stream is over. I'll watch it and it feels like it's live because the person was talking to us and everything.
Yeah, so that's one thing that's really cool about Facebook is that it will automatically repost your videos after you live stream. But I think one of the coolest things for me about Facebook live streaming is that you're able to stream just for those communities. Like I'm in a lot of Facebook groups, for different purposes, for like audio engineering or for, certain types of music. And you're able to really reach like a certain community, especially because, most people have Facebook. I'd say it's a really good option. But like Steve was saying about like putting the link to monetize, Facebook is really not the most monetizable platform. You can do it and people do raise money. It does have the option to raise money for a cause on Facebook. But, as for making a living off of live streaming, I don't know that anyone really does that on Facebook. But another cool thing that, is able to get you more viewers on Facebook is that you have access to using hashtags. So if your live stream is public, you can just hashtag stuff and find more of a community and an audience for your live stream.
What about the Facebook cons?
Yeah, so I don't know if you've all heard about it, but one thing that, people have been, moving away from Facebook for is because of copyright issues. I know a lot of DJs were live streaming on Facebook during quarantine and they just started suddenly getting shut down. So I guarantee if you try to do a DJ live stream right now on Facebook, it will get shut down. So if that's something that you're doing, I definitely recommend moving somewhere like Twitch because there's less issues with that. But then again, even Twitch is having some copyright issues. So that's a tricky subject there.
Yeah, the industry is in transition. Transmission. I got a funny copyright strike where I was playing actually an original track just yesterday on Facebook streaming. And I got a copyright strike on it. And they said this was part of some compilation that was like some famous thing. And I'm like, cool. It sounds like some compilation, even though it was a totally original track and I got a copyright strike on it. So that is super frustrating. I also know people who are producers who have published their tracks and earned gold records. And then they go to stream their own music that they made and they get a copyright strike for it, even though they are the exact person who made the record. So that's also, it's like, come on.
Yeah, and I think one last con of Facebook is, you all may be familiar with this, but your stuff gets like buried in people's news feeds, especially if people follow a lot of people. I know a lot of people have like 5,000 friends on Facebook. So, according to like the algorithms and stuff with Facebook, sometimes it's hard to get your stuff seen. So I'd say if you are posting on Facebook, like you should share to other pages and other groups just so that it's, in people's feeds multiple times.
Yeah. It helps a bit to do it regularly. If people know you have a live stream every Friday night or every Tuesday or daily at 7 or something, that can help a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Being consistent is really important.
We saw One Hood do that as well with their streams once they started to do things regulated, and then like there's one that's actually a doctor, one's talking about different things, and now the audience grows. So yeah, super cool.
All right, and now for the main event. Oops, wrong key command. Let's talk about Zoom a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. So Zoom, I mean, we're on it right now, guys, right? And Zoom is a super powerful and awesome platform. It's obviously very, very business centric, and a lot of corporations and businesses use it. And of course, during quarantine, I mean, even schools use it. So it's like, it's one of the leaders in streaming. But when we talk about monetization and all of that, it is, each platform kind of has its own benefits. So the pros about Zoom is definitely it's very inclusive. It's a very focused audience. There's a lot of tracking of the audience members, which is like the info. There's chat functionality, which we see down there on our screen where we can click chat. All right. We're also able to use OBS, which we're going to have a whole workshop on that next month. But OBS, in essence, allows you to turn your computer or your system into a mini production suite, like basically like a broadcast station. So it gives you a lot of options. Again, we're going to tap back into that next month. It allows for registrations. It's very easy to control who's in it. Obviously, you guys know what that was like, being able to register for an event on an official site like Eventbrite, and then you get the link and you're able to tap in. One of the things that kind of like, holds Zoom back is there's, when it comes to the streaming aspect, I mean, there's software, right, for the computers. You can call into Zoom, but that, calling into Zoom, you're not going to get the video, you're not going to get that live stream element of it. And then the streams, they do vanish after ending if you don't record it. So you have to, again, we talk about this in our last workshop, where you need to establish what you're doing it for. Where you go, go ahead and take over, Steve.
Yeah. So mostly people are familiar with Zoom as kind of an enterprise solution, meaning that it's something that most people use in addition to something else, where you embed your Zoom workshop, or you're using an advanced email follow-up system to give people the link and then send them the replay and then follow up on it and then say something like, oh yeah, if you want to watch the replay, here's the link that's hosted somewhere else. So it's not really like a fun hangout and watch videos or DJs or listen to music. It's definitely something that's for teachers, educators, professional webinars. If you're presenting like a real estate plan on how to flip houses, like people go to Zoom for that and get a really focused audience where people are going to get locked into it, and they might actually devote an hour to doing nothing else but watching your Zoom presentation. So I think that's maybe not too applicable for people who are interested in live streaming, but we wanted to talk about it because it's so huge. A friend of mine bought stock in Zoom in like February 2020, and then all year it was like, whoa, it was just going crazy.
I think that Zoom can be a cool thing if you're doing like a private concert. You can charge people money to register for the event and then have a private concert through Zoom. There are a couple hoops that you have to jump through for good audio through Zoom. But we actually did a Zoom workshop 2 months ago. So on the 25 Karat website, you can see that we have our previous workshops posted. And the workshop number 1 is Zoom optimization specifically. So you can go back and watch that as well if you have more questions about Zoom.
Yeah, thanks for pointing that out. We talked about Zoom preferences and how to get the most out of it. And that's a really good point, Carolyn. You can, if you set it up in terms of selling tickets ahead of time and make people let them feel like, oh, I get to go into a special thing and nobody else can come in here. That can make it a lot of fun. And again, if it feels like having a focused audience where you have people's attention and they're really paying attention to you, they're not going to click into 20 other videos about, cooking or monster trucks or something.
Right.
So should we move on to YouTube?
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you guys don't mind, let me tap into the monetization. I apologize. As you guys know, with the COVID situation, we're all here with our kids. I have a 2.5-year-old daughter, and I am the single father. So, sometimes she really needs that baba juice. So we were talking about the Zoom and the pros and the cons. Now, and we talked about the monetization, right? Did we talk about how you can actually get subscription-based webinar accounts where you're able to monetize at like a high level? If you're just doing one conference a year, it's not going to make you a lot of money. But if you're doing multiple conferences a year, it can honestly make you a lot of money.
Yeah.
That can fuel your business.
Yeah. For high ticket items, like $1,000, workshop on something, it's definitely a profitable platform.
Yep.
But definitely more on the business side. Like it's definitely geared toward like conferences. It's geared toward corporate settings. But it, anything can be monetized for anything, technically.
Here's
Yeah,
a word I learned in the last year, this thing, single sign-on. This is a great feature, which means people don't have to log in with a different name and password. You can give them one link and it just instantly logs them in. So it's removing one blockage to get more people into your workshop, less dropouts, higher attendance rate, all that kind of thing. Single sign-on, just learned that. All right, let's talk about everybody's favorite, YouTube.
Yeah, so in case you didn't know this, YouTube is actually the second largest used search engine after Google. So if you're going to be uploading videos anywhere or live streaming anywhere, I'd highly recommend using YouTube as well, because you're able to archive your content and you can post, onto your channel, maybe just highlights of your live streams or something. I mean, YouTube is so accessible to everyone, even if you don't have an account, that it's worth just adding your stuff on there at the very least. But there are tons of pros to streaming on YouTube. One thing that's really cool is that it actually has this thing called YouTube Premiere that allows you to upload pre-recorded content and premiere it as if it's a live stream, so people can't like rewind or anything. And so that's like an exclusive feature to YouTube. So, if you're pre-recording all your content, maybe that's the way to go for you. One other thing that's cool is it's really, really popular for instructional videos and how-to videos. I mean, I personally probably look up like 10 how-to videos a day. So, if that's the kind of content you're doing, like that's the place that you want to post it. But on the other side of that, there are so many people posting how-to videos on YouTube. So like I said, with Twitch, I'd highly recommend going on YouTube, searching the stuff that you're going to be posting and make sure you're not like posting the same video as 10 other people. But also for the sake of making sure that people are interested in that kind of stuff, or filling the gap. If there's nothing on that subject at all, then, you could potentially be really, really popular if someone's searching that subject specifically. So that's cool about it. Another thing that people use YouTube all the time for is posting unlisted stuff, or link only videos. So, if we wanted to just share specifically this Zoom workshop, we could record it and then post it on YouTube. So like only certain people would have the link to that and it's not public. So that's pretty cool too. You can see on what Steve has pulled up here that he has unlisted videos. So that's a cool option on YouTube.
From my electronic music production site, and most of them are unlisted, which means I have them embedded somewhere else. Some of them are public, where I'm talking about, studio build, softer, better sound, the triangle, pick your room. So there's some things that are public, visible for promo, other things that I want to have somewhere else. Support Mixotexture on Patreon, so that's embedded in a site somewhere else. And I don't want random strangers to just find that video because it would be out of context and not make any sense. So let me go into the YouTube dashboard. If you never streamed from YouTube, it's very similar to Facebook. And in general, the theme of streaming to make your wildest dreams come true. I was waiting to say that. The basic theme is you want to, click the Go Live section, pick your input devices of your cameras and mics, and then make sure everything else is working. So what I just did here is from my channel dashboard up in the top, create. Instead of uploading a video, I'm going to click Go Live, and I get into studio mode. It's going to load up and give me the options to pick when am I going to go live, where am I going to go live, what's it all about. I want to pick stream right here, and category how to and style. So, and this saves the name from the last one. I did a mastering workshop. It's a really good idea to give the title with the words of how to, because that is what people are searching for. And it gives you some cool stuff on analytics, stream health, which tells you that your stream, your internet connection is working, and things like that. It took me a while to figure this out. I wanted to embed this somewhere else in another site. So if you wanted to do a live stream on your private blog or something like that, I was trying to figure out how to do that ahead of time for a scheduled thing. This little arrow up top, share, you can click that and you can grab the video link to embed it before you even go live. So you can take this video, embed the iframe into another site. If you know enough HTML, it's just copy and paste into the right place. And it'll just stay there and say, waiting for Mixitecture to go live and count down the hours. And then when you go live, it just comes up on the screen and you don't have to go and like copy and paste after you started going live, which is madness. Here's the edit button up here if you want to talk about the title, put in the link, set your visibility so you can have it be private or unlisted. And that relates to things like, also if you were selling a workshop, like a 10-part series on how to play guitar, or you're teaching yoga or doing something like lessons of some kind, you might want to set your videos to unlisted so the random public can't find them. Then you embed them somewhere else. And that gives you the ability to charge with a payment platform upfront before they get to the video content, so that you're not just giving it away for free. Uploading a thumbnail is a cool thing to do. It gives you a cover. So if you're going to go live in the future in a scheduled event, make a little thumbnail that says, starting on Friday night at 7. So when people get there, they see that, oh, there's a little thing that tells them what's going on. And that's a good place to put in any other kind of messages about, buy my album or something like that. You can add it to a playlist. These are all options that are kind of self-explanatory. Some stuff about what type of content, add your tags, add your, all these different things, languages and stuff like that. So you can, if you get this far, I'm sure you'll be able to figure it out. We want to just show you a couple of the little things that might trick you up on the way to get there.
And if you get confused, please reach out. You can email Carolyn at 25caracab.com, and we can definitely tap in and give you guys the best advice that we can. The next thing we wanted to talk about past YouTube was something that is near and dear to my heart. I'm just kind of entry level in it, but the predecessors of this software are Ventrilo and TeamSpeak. Back when I was younger, I used to play professional video games, and there are voice relay chats that we would go in, and basically it's like a server where people that are communal or playing games together or whatever they're doing, building a community, they're able to use these servers to communicate. So you can actually run it in the background of games, you can run it in the background of anything. And the newest version of this type of software, and it's expanded its offerings, it's called Discord. So maybe Steve, you could tap in and tell them some of the pros and cons that come with this particular.
Okay, I'm also new to Discord, but it's a huge gaming platform. There's like a universe of people on Minecraft playing Minecraft with Discord, but it's called a Discord server. So it's more than a website. There's a standalone app that you can have on your computer to load up and use it without having the internet open at all. Right now, we're looking at the browser version. And the way it works is, think of any brand like a website or some company. So for example, Mixitecture, that's my electronic music company. It gives you a way to have a bunch of different topics all in one place where your community can interact, and you don't even have to be there. It's like a room like that people can go to. So down here on the right, you can see my subscribers. It tells you which ones are online. So I could click on any of these and start a one-on-one private message chat, just like Facebook Messenger. You can see who's offline, and you can assign privileges for admins and things like that. It took me a while to understand how to use all the things on this left sidebar. Somebody had to show me how far you can build it out, because I didn't know how many things you could add. Think of these like hashtags or threads. So these are called text channels. And in the music production topic, I've got general talk, production talk, mixing help, mastering, okay, record label contacts. So basically my server is holding these threads on all these different topics. Now on a Facebook page, people can talk about stuff, they can post links and pictures and comments, but it all kind of gets jammed into one page that just goes down to infinity. And like Carolyn was saying, your most current stuff gets buried at the bottom. There's all kinds of junk on top, and it's really only current if you have the attention span of a goldfish. Discord allows you to have more organized stuff you can go deeper into each thing without getting lost. You can set up a text channel, questions for your admin. You can set up groups. So group A and B here are some of my student users who do track feedback with just small groups of 4 or 5 people. Like, look at this. Hey, want to catch up with each other a little later today to end this year gloriously. So these people are doing group meetups using my server, the Mixitecture server, as their meeting place. And I don't have to look at a calendar. They don't have to ask me for the password. They don't have to tell me, hey, what day are we meeting? I don't have to remind anybody of anything. They can go in there, set it up with each other, and have it working in a community setting, which is super cool. And that gets better and better the more people you have. Finally, down at the bottom, there are voice channels, which is basically like a video chat for a group, similar to something you could do on Zoom, or I don't think you can do it on Facebook. It's a special thing. So what I would do is, I don't want to do it because I don't want to start a second stream in the middle of this broadcast, but You click into these and it activates your mic and your camera. And then you can have other people from your active users join in and have a group of people in Discord with video and audio and even screen share capability. So you could use it for teaching, or what my student groups do are they meet, once a month or something, and they take turns playing the tracks they're working on, showing their screen of their Ableton Live production software, and they listen and they watch each other's stuff and talk about how to make improvements or whatever. So it's a really cool thing. Somebody made a comment that it's an instantaneous experience where you can just go to the Discord server, see who's on there, and you're in a little community of people who are just there. It's not like Facebook where everybody's there. The Discord server is only that crew, and you can interact, get into a chat, hang out with whoever happens to be there, start a video thing. If you're doing multiplayer gaming, you could start, a game or something like that. And you can see we've got channels laid out on the left. So Pittsburgh Producers Meetup, they got upcoming events. Gear Acquisition Syndrome, which is all people, trading gear, buying gear. Another thing I wanted to point out, I briefly showed on Twitch the Abracadabra Twitch channel, which is DJs and music. And guess what? What's the problem with Twitch? Oh, this stuff disappears. How do you hang out on Twitch? Oh, it's awesome for emojis and comments during the broadcast, and then it stops. Well, what they're doing is they made a Discord channel so that afterwards they can promote stuff they're talking about. Bye plastic. They're just like not into plastic garbage. So one of the side projects of their Twitch music performance thing is they have a Discord community. Make a difference, share your art. These are all things that the audience can do. It's not just like, oh, buy my record, or, like, here's my new product. Like favorite books, recipes, quotes, mindful practice, all things that are built in the community around the topic of DJs and streaming, but it's there for the people in the community to be part of. And I don't even know how many subscribers Magic Creators, those are different levels of their supporters. They got a lot of people in there, 164, and that's just who's online. So Discord is a flexible thing. You could even think about it almost like a website. Think about it like a community-based website where instead of having like about, contact, links, and that kind of stuff, you could just go here and have your channels and be like, okay, here are the main things people want to get involved with. People come to my Discord server, they get the info they want. You can pin your stuff to the top of each page or whatever, and they can hang out with each other and talk about the topic, which is what people really want to do. We had a cool conversation before this meeting about students and how kids are, they're on Zoom and they're in school and they're bored and everything. And then as soon as they're done, they just want to go online and hang out with their friends. Well, Discord is a place you can give your audience a community to hang out with each other, that you input good stuff and they go there to just absorb and hang out and get more out of it, I guess.
So people are probably wondering like how, oh, I'm sorry, Carolyn, go ahead.
I was just going to throw in a couple cons about streaming on Discord. And one is that you can only stream audio through the Windows desktop version of the app for some reason. Just one little workaround if you do want to live stream in it. And then it's limited. The streams are limited to 50 people as well. So it's really good for small communities and conversations and streaming for specific people. But there are some downfalls. You also have to pay for a membership to stream in really high quality. So just a few things to throw in there as well.
No, that was perfect.
Yeah.
That was right in line. Steve?
Nope. I was just saying, thanks, Carolyn.
That was absolutely perfect. You tacked in right in that moment. And then I guess the only thing left with Discord is, for those that are trying to monetize, right? So obviously there is like a subscription, right, that allows you within Discord to have a better quality stream. But you might want to ask, you see these channels that Steve's in, and there's all these users, right? You got people, and a lot of them, they're just idling, right? Which means they're just in there. They're waiting for whatever the next thing going on, or at any time they can tap in and kind of get involved, which is really, really cool facet of it. But for people that do own servers and their channels, there is a way to monetize, and it's a separate entity, and it's called Launch Pass. So basically, you'll be able to give subscription access to a Discord channel, which this is used. So for instance, what Steve just talked about, you talking about live streaming, say you're a band, a DJ on Facebook, and you want to continue the conversations. You want to also give people an opportunity to ask direct questions. You can separate it out. So you can give them your public Discord. Now they're all in there. Everybody's talking, chatting, asking questions, hopping around. But if they wanted to get more serious and they wanted to be able to spend one-on-one time with the person who owns that channel, because look, if there's 80 people in that channel, this guy can't talk to every single person. He can't provide value to every single person. And people asking questions are always, what are you looking for? In general, you're probably looking to add value to yourself. So that's where you have to draw the line as a creative, as somebody that is offering something that is of substance to people's lives, is you got to try to monetize it. So Launchpass gives you the ability to do that. There's like a free basic service, but the paid services have all the features. And this isn't just for gaming. This isn't just for DJs. This isn't just for musicians. It's also for people. Me personally, there's a lot of stock groups that I'm a part of. So I do a lot of stock trading, and so there's a lot of people that'll give out free information on some of these services. And the way they monetize it is they say, hey, well, we do have a private Discord channel where we're at market break every day. We're going to be giving out tickers. We're going to be giving, and it's going to be actually more. It's almost like, some of these people are financial advisors. Some of them are just people with, diamond hands, whatever the case is. And you're able to tap in with people that you believe in, and they're able to also receive benefit back, which would be, in this case, money and that personal interaction.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. That's a great, another. Okay. Can we move on to Vimeo?
Yeah.
Love Vimeo.
Vimeo. Who else is using Vimeo? Vimeo is, I'm new to Vimeo in the last 2 years. Real quick, Vimeo is similar to YouTube, more professional level. And the main theme is that it's got a lot better of a privacy thing. When you embed a video and people play the video, they get to the end of the video and it stops. And they don't have 5 more recommended things taking them away to other people's channels. Like on YouTube, we were saying earlier today, if you put on YouTube on autoplay, and by mistake you fall asleep, when you wake up, it could be in another universe of videos, and it just keeps going through and going on these crazy rabbit holes. So Vimeo is gives you a cleaner interface. You can upload stuff. It's got better privacy, and it's more designed for, again, business people who are embedding their videos and using them in the context of another website somewhere else. So Carolyn, you want to run through some pros and cons while I click around?
Yeah, for sure. So like he was saying, it's much more professional and higher quality to embed from Vimeo as opposed to YouTube. You may be familiar with seeing people posting YouTube videos on Facebook. It doesn't actually embed the video anymore. Vimeo is much higher quality. And like he was saying, like, it's more private. So you have way more control over who's seeing the videos. Another benefit is that you can stream to multiple destinations because you can live stream on Vimeo and embed those live streams. As you can see, he just pulled up here. You can embed and to all of those websites. And I think just the fact that LinkedIn is on there shows you that it really is more of a business-centric website. So that's usually the community that you're going to find there. But other benefits to using Vimeo are that it does give you the options for Q&As, for doing graphics and polls built in there. So you can use graphics through Vimeo instead of having to use a separate software to put those in there. Some of the cons, though, it's a little bit pricey for a membership. And the reason that you would need the membership is to stream an unlimited amount of times and hours. So I think it's $75 a month, which is pretty steep. But if you have, if you're monetizing your business, then I think it's worth it. If you're live streaming professionally or doing webinars or doing professional content where you are charging a fee and making a lot of money, then it can be worth it for sure.
It's definitely one of those things that are utilized, like, especially by professionals. I think Vimeo creates that kind of line in the sand. I mean, you can upload to YouTube, you can upload to Dailymotion, you can upload to a million different places. But Vimeo has, through the years, decided to keep that structure of being professional based. So you see a lot of people, when I am on Vimeo, most times I'm watching like a short film before they submit it to a festival or something of that nature, like short films, things that are of like really high quality and a high monetization kind of factor. So yeah, I just wanted to tap in with that.
I want to give a quick demo. I love playing with these options. We're looking at a video edit from the back end. And right now, here's all this stuff around the frame with the person the title and the picture of me or the person who uploaded it. What's fun about Vimeo is it lets you turn all this stuff off and watch how the frame just gets cleaner and cleaner as I turn off all these options. If this is embedded in my site, they don't need to see my picture on there. The title could be somewhere around that, it doesn't have to be right on there. They know it's for me. Now it's a much cleaner looking frame. So when people get to that page, they press play, they watch the video. That's what happens. They don't need to mess around. There's no visual clutter. It's a cleaner interface and gives you a more professional presentation, which can be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and as for monetizing on Vimeo, they do have a feature that allows people to kind of tip you. It has like a virtual tip jar that you can connect to PayPal or your credit card. So I think that's the only way to monetize within Vimeo. But because you're able to easily stream to other websites and do other things, you can monetize easily using that.
Yeah, let's take a quick look at the live stream function here. I don't know if can you see the pop-up where it says, will you allow Vimeo to use your camera
Yep.
and stuff? Okay, so I'll just say allow to that. And check it out, destinations, Vimeo, Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn. So you can do a stream that's gonna get pumped out to these other locations. Oh, wow, I'm getting a low res preview. Hope it doesn't mess up my stream. And you can add, okay, so there's a chat going on, Q&A, graphics, stream health, all those kinds of things that help you make sure your stream is working.
Yeah, can you click on the stream health? Because I thought that was pretty cool. It literally gives you your rates and everything for your computer and what you need. So that's super helpful.
Huh.
I haven't seen that within any other streaming platform. So just a little tidbit.
That is cool. Yeah. And again,
And
this is a free preview thing. I'm not signed up on the premium enough account to be.
yeah, and
So
there's
not
also that
everybody,
little checkbox that says to notify you if the stream becomes unstable, which it can be super helpful. If your internet's going out, then before it ends your stream, you can check in on that.
Yeah.
and not everybody is looking to do the video streaming, right? And to monetize based on video. So maybe you guys could tell our viewers and the people that are locked in with us other ways for maybe music, audio.
Yeah, so all three of us come from a music background. We're all musicians and producers, engineers. So, we all make music and actively buy and listen to music. So we want to talk about just a couple platforms that are really good for monetizing music, especially in this day and age. It's really hard to make music. I mean, make money from streaming music. Everyone uses Spotify and SoundCloud and all these things that it's free to stream, and the musicians unfortunately are getting not much money from that. So we wanted to touch on a couple ways that you can make money. So we wanted to talk about Bandcamp, which is one platform that makes it very easy to monetize your music. um, it does take a percentage. It takes 15% of your digital sales, but you're still getting 75 cents on the dollar, which if someone wants to pay you $5 for an album, then you're at least making a few dollars, which would take you way longer streaming on Spotify to make that money. um,
I
and
love,
also you can you're able to charge whatever price that you want. You can see he's got it pulled up here. Name your price. So he if he wants to pay $30 for the album and support someone, then he has that option, which is really cool.
yeah, Bandcamp is great because the people who buy music usually know you and they want to give you money because they like you and the music and they appreciate what you're doing, which is a really cool thing. It's a much different mindset from trying to, get free music or people who want to scam the system or something like that. It's really a supportive kind of a thing. I always round up to the bigger number when I'm buying something. And it's cool that they give you the conversion rate. So the price is in British pounds, shows me the US dollar price. And a cool thing that I also appreciate, you can check out with PayPal right away, and it gives you the option to download in WAV format or MP3 format. Bandcamp will convert it. And then another one of my favorite things is a lot of times I go to Bandcamp and listen to some of my favorite albums. If you play a track 3 times and then you try to play it a fourth time, there's a built-in pop-up that says, hey, it's time to open your wallet and support this artist because you obviously like their music. So the platform kind of talks to your conscience and says, we know you're listening to this album. You really should, give this person some money. And then to make it a little easier to find stuff while you're listening, you can come in, press play, read about the tracks, see some of the comments from other people, see the track list, and it gives you more things from that same artist that you can find or from a record label if it's a label, and then a few recommended things. So you can go to Bandcamp and spend some time fooling around discovering new music. And I would say overall, Bandcamp is a higher level of quality and more serious performers or people who take their art seriously. It's just good quality music. I don't find a lot of trash on Bandcamp at all.
Yeah, they've also been doing Artist Fridays throughout the quarantine, where all of the money, all of the proceeds that you give to the artist goes to them and they don't take the cut, which is really, really cool. And just one other thing that I love about Bandcamp is that the credits are right below it. Like you look at any song or any album and the credits are right there, which is really cool. I think it's a little bit farther down, but I love that. As an engineer, I think that's really important.
Oh yeah.
I mean, on Spotify, sometimes you have to click through like 10 pages to even find who mixed and mastered the album. So I like that about it.
Yeah. I like how there's a sound system at the top. That's just that person, but hey, come on, that's a nice looking sound system. Look at all the speakers.
Yeah, and then so the other audio only platform that we wanted to talk about was SoundCloud. So SoundCloud has a bit of a weird monetization structure. But if you're a DJ specifically, or any type of musician, I'd highly recommend uploading to SoundCloud. I know, like, I use SoundCloud all the time to listen to DJ mixes because that's not stuff that you find on Spotify or Pandora. It's a different type of platform that you can have these like 3-hour mixes, which is really cool. But I think the main way that people monetize on SoundCloud, because they do take a pretty big cut, and there's a lot of rules to the monetization. But you can easily link to different websites, different social media. You can make a tab that says to buy it, and it'll link you right to your PayPal page or other social media pages. And the community is so huge on SoundCloud that I think it's definitely worth even just posting this stuff on there, just in case, to find more people.
I like about SoundCloud that it has a really good embedded player. So when you're doing a test mix or you're sharing a piece of music, you can customize this little player and embed it someplace. And I don't know if everybody's done this a million times, but you can pick, like, you want to show the album cover and have it look like that, or you want to have it be the compact one with the mini player, the pro thing. So it's a really good way to share a lot of music in different places, as well as having a community built in on the platform where people find music. I would advise, if people send you messages on SoundCloud, make sure you find out if it's a real person or not, because I always get messages that are saying like, hey, I think your track really has potential. Contact me to get in touch with 100,000 plays tomorrow. And I'm just like, I have not gotten a legit message on SoundCloud in like 5 years. So the messaging on SoundCloud, not so much, but the player and the audio and the plays and stuff is cool.
Cool.
Wow, I think we covered a lot of different stuff, right, guys? And we just crossed the hour mark. So what's up, Steve? What should we do?
Drink some coffee. Well, I guess we should talk about maybe some of the monetization strategies. Like, how do you know when you're ready to monetize, or how to go about it if you just have creative ideas and music and then you can get to a platform? What's the next step?
Sure. I think this is an interesting conversation. There's people that have already gone down the forefront of this in years prior, but with this particular year that we had with the pandemic, I mean, everybody all of a sudden is on streaming platforms. Everybody's on all the different ones. You're seeing even just like the people that might not have had time to be on them before, while everybody's in the house, everybody's kind of like not traveling. There's just so much interaction that's happening online every single day, right? So people are starting to think, how do you monetize? And for the people that are like, I mentioned D Nice earlier and his Club Quarantine, he wasn't looking to make a lot of money off it. He didn't want people to just send him money. So they found charitable causes, right? He found nonprofits that were dealing with the voting, with voting awareness and in literation. So that, I think, is probably the primary functionality that a lot of people I see, if you aren't doing it prior to COVID, they're kind of looking at ways to, like, raise money for the restaurant business, raise money for artists within the city, raise money for this, different purposes and different factors. But also, I mean, Twitch, we've seen kids for going on 12 years about making full salaries doing this and monetizing using Twitch. And now we're seeing a lot of these other streaming platforms adding elements of monetization to also give people that ability to make themselves money. So even with what we're doing today, yes, we're offering it for free. People are able to pay, but we also encourage people just to follow. And when the community grows, we all grow. And the monetization is something that is very personal, and it's up to you. Do you think that that is a priority to you, or is the community aspect more of a priority, or can you do them at the same time? So just wanted to tap in on the monetization side. And, when it comes down to that as well, you have to also remember that as you grow, we just saw Jake from State Farm doing a Twitch commercial, right? I mean, that's incredible. How much money went into that? I don't know. But that is an incredible facet of it. And when people and these companies, especially like Twitch, and these gaming functionalities, people like Razer, Sennheiser, Shure, all these different, here you go. all these different companies are looking to support these streamers. These streamers are getting, exposure to thousands, if not millions of people. So you can get sponsorships, you can build brand awareness. There's a lot of people that just sell themselves as the brand and they monetize off of that as being an influencer, to where you can say, oh man, Steve has this incredible Twitch channel. We love it. Man, it would be crazy if Steve would just shout out my shirt. I make these shirts. If he would wear a shirt, what can I do, right? And so people, even on a basic level, when it's not like super famous, when you just have a few hundred subscribers, they're linking up with people in their local community to also kind of bolster other people's businesses and their own at the same time. So sponsorships is a very cool level to the live streaming thing and to monetization. And it can create, incredible relationships, and it also can, pat your pockets.
I want to spit out a couple ideas about how to get to a profitable business by online streaming, which might seem like a huge topic. One of the basic things that people have a terrible problem with is asking for the money or the sale. I've even seen this as a sound man doing hundreds of shows where people get to the end of the show and they have a CD and they start talking about it. They could have done the best show of the year, blasting out great energy, total confidence, got the audience in the palm of their hand. And then when they pick up their CD, they're like, if you want to, we're going to be over there later. You can come and see us. And we have these CDs. And then they run away. And it's like, you can't just say, I have the product as a fact. It really makes a difference to practice getting comfortable with asking people to buy it. Literally just saying, hey, I did this thing. I'm really happy about it. I think you're going to like it. Here's how you get it. I want you to buy it right now to support me. And it's going to make us all feel good. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I had to get over it. Most people do in the early days of running your own business or branding yourself or monetizing. It does feel a little bit weird to just go up to somebody and be like, hey, give me some money. But that's not really what you're doing. What you're doing is giving them so much value up front, making their lives better, helping them enjoy their time, find new things they didn't know existed, opening them up to new worlds of music or whatever you're presenting. And it's totally okay to get to the end of that and just push through that one little twinge of not feeling comfortable and get used to saying, hey, I did this thing. I know you're enjoying it. We're happy to do it for you. Help us with keeping on going so we can, bring you more of this content, or so you can take a little bit home or give us this extra level of support. It's really easy. People are actually expecting it, and there's nothing wrong with putting it out there. And to touch on something from before about which platform do you choose, it makes a lot of sense to stack up your platforms where you have maybe one platform with the paid content, like say an album on Bandcamp, then you go live on YouTube to pick a favorite song, play it, and lead to the album. And then maybe you have a Facebook group where you could go live and talk about the making of the album. Say, oh yeah, I went through the songwriting. Now I got to change my guitar strings. What am I going to do? Oh, well, I'll do a dumb little live video about changing guitar strings and how I wrap them around at the top of the fret so they don't, or the top of the, what's that thing called that you twist? The tuning peg. So the strings don't get loose. I know, industry professionals, right? But the point is, each platform has its nuances that lend themselves to either longer format, shorter format, more text, less text, hashtags or not, community or not. So try making the kind of content that's good for each platform and making them into this organic thing where no matter where people go, they can find a little bit of you popping up, and that all kinds of leads your audience to one place where they can make the donation or buy the music or support you in some other way. So the whole thing becomes an ecosystem. And yes, this does take a ton of time and focus. You got to be organized. You might even want to make a calendar that says like, today we do this, today we do that. Here's the big show on Friday, and lead into it, build up to it. Don't just do a stream out of nowhere and expect to make money. You really got to give people some awareness. Send an email, send a couple posts, tell them, hey, this is coming up. Our workshop's coming up. We want you to come. It's going to be great. Oh, this is coming up later. We're going to introduce a new thing you've never seen before or a new song you never heard before. And the more you can build up some excitement about it, the more likely people are going to be happy to give you some money because they see what you're putting into it and how much positive energy too. Literally positive energy is what turns the faucet on to get paid for doing what you love. And that's what we want you to be able to do.
Yeah. And just one last tip. Just because I read this article just the other day about independent musicians, it can be really helpful just to be online and build that community and build relationships with your fans and with your viewers, and just be interactive, which, Discord has helped a lot with that, with just letting people get to know you and being available, thanking people for listening and, answering questions about like what kind of effects you were using on your guitar and stuff like that. I've seen it firsthand. Like I've seen these musicians blow up because like they're just independently, online building that community themselves. So that can be really helpful for building, viewers and ultimately monetizing.
Wow, we covered a lot. Wow.
Yeah, it's 8:15.
A lot of good stuff. So maybe Carolyn, do you want to just run back over kind of what we did real quick, and let's just, let's go to a quick Q&A and try to wrap this up so everybody can get back to whatever they're doing.
Yeah, so, we covered all the platforms today. And like we said, there's a resource guide on the website that has all of our bullet points about the pros and cons on the platforms, as well as links to articles that help you to understand the benefits of using those. So definitely check that out. I know it's, we gave you so much info today. So, we don't expect you to remember everything. So feel free to download that. It's free on the website. And if you have any questions at all, feel free to throw them in the chat right now. Or like we said, you can also email us, me specifically, Carolyn@25caragav.com. That email is also on the resource guide. If you have any questions, or if you're interested in doing a one-on-one tech consultation with one of us, that's the email to reach us at. And then, like we said, our workshops are also posted on the website. So you can rewatch it later if you want to, or share it with your friends.
Replay Zoom workshop, or workshop number 1 about Zoom optimization, which could help you get started with Zoom. Workshop number 2 is live stream basics, where we talked about cameras, lighting, sound quality, background, a little bit of green screening. And today we're in workshop number 3. There's the button for the resource guide, and the link is, I just pasted it into the chat, so you can click right in there, grab the resource guide, and let us know what you do with this. I would love to see somebody come out after this and be like, oh man, we did this workshop on how to do streaming, and now I'm doing some live concerts and it's working better than it was before. Because nobody wants to just be stuck banging your head on the table trying to figure it out by yourself when there's places to get help. So let me stop the screen share. Thank you so much for coming, everybody. We really appreciate you spending some time with us on a Thursday. If you have any questions, we got a little minute or two, and I might just start a little background music. So got that going on.
Yeah, so like we were saying, we have all these modules built out. We're able to go more in depth about any subject that we talk about, any of the topics that you saw on the 25 Karat website. I'm just going to screen share that again for you all real quick.
Yeah.
If you have any questions at all, or if you have a program or anyone in general you think would be interested in learning these types of skills, please feel free to reach out. We're willing to work with anyone for any of your needs. We can customize these modules, and we genuinely are here to help the community and to help educate people who want to do this stuff for a living. So, if you have any type of need for this, please let us know and we'll try to work with you.
Oh, I love that picture of the lighting basics too. In the bottom left, you can see the pink and green shadows. This was a picture from the 2019 summer camp. And the amazing thing about teaching with teenagers is you never know where the lesson's going to go. Like, we had a plan to set up the lighting, show them how to program different colors, point the lights. And I was thinking, okay, we're going to create the effect of color on the stage. I did not realize they were going to start doing shadow dancing and have shadow battles, and then taking pictures of each other and finding out that all the colors make. They just went crazy with it and had so much fun. Like 2 hours went by where I was like, hey, you guys want to learn how to like change the colors? And they're like, no, get the camera. Let's take some pictures. They just went, like, when you see the amount of excitement that comes out from putting young people in a room with professional gear and letting them play with it, it's amazing. Can we see the one? Can you scroll down to the one about video 2 where we were in the workshop downstairs? Video basics. Okay, so video basics 2 and 3, we got them into an actual TV studio, and they could run that big boom camera and have each other on screen on the big screen. And then we went into the workshop, and they were doing that thing where you take the camera and point it at the monitor like this, and you get the infinity tunnel.
You get the matrix.
Infinity tunnel.
Inception.
I got to stop screen sharing to do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we built these 16 modules of activities where each module has a couple of core ideas of concepts about audio, lighting, video, photography, like scripting, an actual show, like storyboarding, or even some things about tour managing and the business of running bands and things. And we were so excited to just get this material in a room full of people at the same time as the equipment, start putting stuff together and see what happens with them using it, like seeing the fun of plugging up the sound system and talking into a mic. For us, it's like, oh, geez, we do that 900 times. But when you're there with people who do it for the first time and you see like how excited they get, it's super cool. So we've been a little bit bummed that we haven't been able to get into the after school program personally to do this. But hopefully in 2021, maybe later in the year, we'll be able to do that, maybe outdoors with a little more spacing or something. And for now, we're enjoying putting it into video format. And honestly, the way that we all went into more of a Zoom world and everybody got into streaming from home, that gave us a big opportunity to talk about stuff like choosing platforms, choosing mics, webcams, lighting, making your room look cool. So that was kind of unexpected. And it's been, it's been fun adapting to the online video presentation. But there are some things that you can only learn by picking up the object, feeling how heavy it is, clinking it together, and being like, oh, look, it fits, put this on here, and like do all that kind of stuff. That's what I like about this.
Yeah, so just to wrap up, like we mentioned, this is a totally free workshop, but if you do feel so inclined, we would love to get some donations to help us, build more curriculum and educate people as much as we can. We're planning on doing a after school program for teenagers online starting in a couple months. And we're planning on, potentially giving kids gear and giving them access to use the stuff on their own at home. So, that's what our future is looking like. We're also, thinking about doing like Q&A workshops, where people can just come with tech questions and we can just answer what people want to know. Otherwise, we're doing our monthly workshops. Next month is going to be on OBS and more technical streaming. OBS is open broadcast software, allows you to add graphics and stream to multiple platforms, use multiple cameras and audio sources. So, if you're interested in live streaming and this stuff, helped you out today, I'd highly recommend registering for that. We already have the register link up on the website. If you want to register in advance, that would be cool. And also fill out our survey on, how you felt about this and what you learned. That would be super helpful for us for our future workshops. We'd love to get that feedback from you all.
Yeah, tell us what you want. We can talk all day about the stuff we like to talk about, but it's much more meaningful if you can tell us, hey, I need to learn about, I don't know, whatever your niche is in music or broadcast, or not like broadcast, but maybe you want to start a Pittsburgh events channel or something like that for whatever's going on. There's so many things you can do.
Try it.
What you're interested in.
Stick it in there so you got pops.
Put that together.
Yep. And make sure you also follow us on social media. We're on Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. So if you feel free, like Jordan said, it's free, to follow us. If you don't have the ability to donate, that would be plenty for us, and we've been posting tips and little videos on Instagram to just help people out. And you can also ask us questions through there if you have any questions about what we're doing there.
Yeah, I apologize. I've been trying to keep my mic muted just in case she has like she wants to eat a lollipop or whatever the case may be. But definitely thank you to everybody who's tuned in. It's been really special. This is our third one. We're excited to do more. Definitely shout out to HereCore for being able to donate some space and equipment for us to even do it. So what you see in the modules, a lot of this was their offerings. Shout out to the Forbes Foundation. This is 25 Carrick Ave, which is a nonprofit based here out of Carrick. The Opportunity Fund, Birmingham Foundation, the Grable Foundation. Just shout out to everybody. It starts with you guys, the people that are actually coming for the information. But for us to even do this is definitely a blessing and a privilege. And thank you to everybody.
Yeah, thanks for your support.
Thank you. I think we're just going to chill and listen to Steve's tracks for a minute and
I saw
the meeting.
From Tim. Tim was asking about Facebook rules for musicians to live stream original music and covers briefly. That's a cool question because, the way the algorithms block music is they listen to the actual audio waveform and compare it to something else that's copyrighted. So if you're performing an original and you have a different tone, different sound, different tempo, different song structure, all those subtle things make it an original broadcast, even if you're playing, I don't know, Bob Dylan songs or something. So I think performing and singing, you have a lot more leeway compared to DJs who are playing actual recordings that were easily matchable to something else. Jovita, you are so welcome. Thanks for coming back next month for OBS. Yeah, and we're here. So if you have any more questions or anything like that, I think we talked about how you can get in touch, and we're happy to help anybody else who might have questions too.
Thank you.
All right, is that it then?
Yep.
All right, good job, Carolyn. Good job, Jordan.